Okay. We are live. We're starting a little early. I probably should have started a little bit earlier than this, but here we are. We are picking back up with our needle felted magnet. This will probably be the well, this should be the last magnet of this season. It is number 13. We'll take a break from doing magnets next week. We'll do a couple originals before we dive back. Before we dive back into the Bob Ross stuff. But we're gonna be picking back up where we left off with this guy. The link to the tutorial that we are following is pinned in the chat. That will take you to season 31, episode 13 of The Joy of Painting. If you want to watch the tutorial in full with sound, I have the tutorial muted and tiny in the bottom corner. So, we are going to get situated here and see about diving back on in, as there are loud vehicles being loud outside. So we still should be okay as far as size goes. We'll lose a tiny bit, but that's all right. We kind of planned for that. I know we could probably get a little more purple in the top piece there, but I still think we're okay if we move this down. You know, even if there's a tiny little bit of blue on the very edge showing, the frame will cover it, so we should be fine in that respect. So I've kind of got the tutorial paused here. We're close to where we left off. So I didn't realize I'd actually put that one in. So we need to do our mini shrub here. We don't need anywhere near this much fluff. I am using acrylic yarn. Traditionally, people use roving. Acrylic yarn is more my budget. I could get a lot more mileage out of the price I pay for a skein of yarn than I can with the roving. So if your budget allows you to do roving and that's what you want to do, then by all means. This is just what works better for me. And roving has less prep involved with it as well, so I can see where it would be a bit more grab and start friendly. And if you're not sure that you want to get into this, it may also be a better option to try with like a smaller set of roving. Like you can buy like multi-bags, buy like the little floss size bags of roving off of like Amazon or whatever to get you started to see if it's really something you want to do. But if you're allergic to wool, the acrylic yarn is also, you know, an alternative. Just in case. It's another option for you. These are just finger protectors to keep my somewhat safer. Keep any potential injury if I accidentally stab my finger from being too bad. I am using a wool mat. You can use foam if foam's better for you. I go with these mats because I feel like the foam mats would need to be replaced more often. And my ears are very sound sensitive, so I don't think I could handle the scritchiness that foam can have of the needle working through it. Because you will be stabbing into it. Okay, so there was a little bit of a black section there. I don't think it stays black. He fills those in with some other stuff. Okay. Now he does add some grasses in here. And we haven't put those in yet. So get my green that I want to use for that. And I just feel like there's like a ton of shades of yarn available. Now, maybe you're in an area that has a wide selection of roving colors, and if you do, that's great. I wasn't really finding the shades of roving that I wanted, so it's kind of how I ended up with what I did. Alright, so he's got something that's gonna come hang out in this area. Like he's got like a shrub that's gonna like come up and fill in this dark section here. So we don't have to necessarily worry about that too much. Now, I think when most people think about needle felting, they think about the little critters that you can make, and that is one thing you can do. I don't do critters that often because I would rather do scenery. I'm better at this aspect of it than critter aspect of it, to be perfectly honest. We all have our strengths, right? I'm not so good at the critters. I try and fail miserably, as we know from previous husband gifts. Like that is very apparent. So I mean, we still try, but I'm much stronger with this aspect of it, to say the least. Speaking of, we're gonna have to start the husband's Christmas present. Probably around August or September. So now there's a chance that we might actually be going away in November again. A slim chance. We'll see about that. I'm not that confident that it's gonna happen. I think my brother's being overly optimistic. Because it turns out that property is going to auction on the 9th. It's not closing on the 9th. Because I did some digging of my own. I didn't see a starting bid listed anywhere. And I don't know if there's any other liens on the property that he may owe. Basically, the house he was trying to sell got flooded during, I think, Hurricane Helene. And he had 3 feet of water in the house. So, like, the bottom half of all of the drywall had to be ripped out. The floors all have to be ripped out. Electrical work has to be redone. Like, the whole house needs to be practically gutted and started over. And he's like, oh no. He's like, I'm trying to sell this thing. I will never get that money back. And apparently the insurance was gonna, like, direct pay contractors. They weren't gonna give him the money so he could do it himself. Because I think most of that he would have rather done himself. But the insurance company was like, no, we'll pay the whoever we have come out and do it. And he's like, no. So he just let it go to foreclosure. He's like, screw it. But supposedly, he says if it sells for more than what he owes, the bank owes him the difference. We'll see what happens. And supposedly, if it sells for more than what he owes on it, and they give him the difference, he was going to, I guess, spot us the difference that we needed to come down. Potentially. But, we'll see what happens with that. From what I saw on the website, it's cash only. Which is interesting. I'm like, who has that much cash just laying around? Like, that's bizarre. I guess investment bankers do. I don't know. And, the one website was showing that only 2 people had, saved it to get alerts about it. Is one of those people my brother? I don't know. But, because he was talking about going down the next day to look at public records to see if they've got it listed for, how much it sold for the auction. I don't know. We'll see. I guess. But I'll get some stuff recorded just in case. Depending on how hot it is. Well, actually, well, next week it might be angry skies. I saw the extended forecast, like, going into, like, leading up to July 4th, and it had thunderstorms for us on, like, the 1st and the 2nd, and I'm like, ooh, the city wants to do their fireworks on the 3rd. Are they gonna get it in? I don't know. I'm not looking forward to that, and I feel so bad for the people that live down the street from us, because it's They're basically launching them right next to their houses. I would be so upset and so nervous that something was going to go wrong. Statistics low, but it can happen. And there's like houses like spitting distance from where they're setting off this huge fireworks show, and I'm just like, oh hell no. Those people must not be tickled pink about these large fireworks shells going off right next to their property. The city doesn't seem to have anywhere else where they can do it, apparently. The area they used to do it in got sold, and they threw up a subdivision. So I don't know. Alright, so he kind of like brings it. I don't know how far down he brings it. So we've got a lot of unknowns happening at the moment. Which always leave me feeling unsettled. So I know I've got some breaks in there, but he has some breaks in his. So I'm okay with that. Some little shadowy divotty areas in here. Or what's available of the light isn't quite touching. Is it sunrise? Is it sunset? I'm not sure. He may have said, and I just wasn't listening. It might be a sunset. I may have missed that part. Alright. Yeah, over there. Alright. So it's just a little bit of water on the end of my finger just to kind of help shape the thing. I know somewhere down in here I think he puts a path in, so I'm not sure how far down our grass comes. Suppose we can just add more if we need to. Which will probably end up being the direction we go in here. So I just want to get a little bit more of this. Okay. So we've got a little bit more grass here that I just kind of want to work in a little bit. Back into here. And then I've got just this tiny little guy. Kind of maybe try to pop you into here. Yeah, so I'm thinking next week. I found my 5x5 wooden squares. And so big difference in size, right? Like way big difference. And my pieces that I'm building my frames out of like just fit, right? We just have to cut the little nubbies off on the ends. So I thought, well, what if we excuse me. What if we manage to build a little frame on there? I don't know if it's quite deep enough though. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how it goes. Okay, so we've got that pretty much in place there. All right, so I'm gonna advance the tutorial a little bit. Mostly so I can see how far forward he's coming. Sometimes it's a little hard to judge because he's on a much larger canvas. Okay, so he kinda... What's he doing? So he's putting something here. He's got like a shrub line coming in. So he's got a shrubby kind of coming straight down here. Like, I'm not sure if he's using that super dark color or what. So he's mixing up some brown and some white, and he's darkening it a little because it was a little too light, I guess. And then he's adding some trunks to these guys. So are these actually sitting in front of all that? Is like what he added. Alright, maybe I brought that over when I shouldn't have. Okay, yeah, that kind of looks like what it should be. Alright. So it's kind of like a dark gray on the trunks there. Okay. Yellow. That must be black on there because it looks kind of green. Excuse me. Ah. Of course, it's ads that I can't skip. Okay. So then he's gonna do that one. That one looks a little more yellowy. Okay, so he brings that down to about there. The heck? Oh, and then he's filling in those shrubbies. And then we're looking at Peapod. And missed a good chunk of stuff. Bob. Alright. And he's got that guy. Alright, can we zoom in a little bit more? Right, he's putting those guys in, then he does the pathway. Okay. Can we, like, pause that there? Alright, so I think we'll just take the black, maybe? I'm gonna have to undo some of the stuff that I've done already. That was my fault, because I thought I wasn't coming over far enough. Happens. Alright, so I'm just gonna kind of add a little bit more substance to this potential tree over here. So I think I did come over too far. But you know what? Maybe we'll see some of the green poking through sections of shrubbery, huh? And once we get the color put in on this thing, whatever color it ends up being, it's slightly darker than the grass, so maybe we'll make that like a varsity green or something. Sad part is I don't know how much of this is even gonna be visible once we get everything all trimmed up here. Right? Because it might just kind of be peeking. It might just be peeking out there. So we will fill all of that in. Oh gosh. Just keep missing there. But I'm trying to cover up. It might not be that. Excuse me, it might not be that much of an issue though. Okay. So then this guy. And that ends up needing to be filled in with a darker shade up into here, because I thought he was going to bring that all the way over. And I kind of jumped the gun on that a little bit. I mean, it's okay. We'll figure it out. Like, we'll bring the tree trunk down to here, maybe here, and then we'll have our shrubby bits filled in at the bottom of it. So not a huge oopsie, but I do kind of want to try to fill that in a bit if we can. Like a little of that poking through should be okay. Alright, we need a little bit more. Like not a huge amount. Like this might be too much. We'll see. We need to kind of add some shrubby shapes kind of peeking up here. Just a little bit. You know, sometimes it feels like you've got a lot, but once you start stabbing it through and it all like piles up on itself, it won't actually be all that much. All kinds of planes going overhead today. I swear earlier it sounded like a fighter jet went over. Alright, and then probably have a little bit of a shrubby guy hanging out over here. Okay. I mean, it kind of set it back a little bit. Okay. There's that color. I didn't close that color. Okay. So those trunks that he put in, they kind of looked like a grayish color. I don't know if there's much point to go ahead and adding this because we're gonna cover most of it, but Bob did it, so like I guess you can kind of see it in some spots. kinda like we're working much smaller, so we kind of have to figure out what detail to go ahead and try to add and what ones we're okay with not adding. Because as small as we are with the medium that we have, there's gonna be some sacrificing here. It's just the way it's gonna be. My finger's just resting on this. It's not like pushing down or anything. Right, that looks like a good enough length on that. Now he added some other little branchy guys. I don't think we're really gonna see them when it comes down to it. If we were working on a larger size, then I'd say, yeah, okay. But we're not. So I don't really see the need to go that detailed. Okay. So in this guy, figure out where we want the trunk to sit. And we kind of have to figure out if we want it to stay super skinny or if we want it to elongate. If you want it to be like super skinny the whole way down, you might have to just tap it more to get more of that fluff kind of melted in. Okay. We tuck that back into there. Okay, so now we need a color for this tree. And the one tree looked a little lighter than the others, so how about we go with like maybe light green on this one and then we'll go lime on the one next to it. It's probably a good enough difference between the two. Again, just like a drop of water. You don't need much. And then we're just gonna kind of figure out how we want to get our highlights popped into here. And it might take a minute to get those put in to your liking. And it kind of looks like Bob's got a little bit of breaks here and there on it. That's a little too exaggerated for me on that. I'm not gonna leave it like that. You don't have to do the water. That's up to you. If you're having a little bit of trouble getting your fluff to cooperate with you or shape in a way that you want it shaped, then, you know, it's an option. But you don't have to. Okay. Again, we're just kind of shaping out our tree. With our highlighty friends. If I have a couple breaks in it, I'm going to try to let them be. I mean, I say that it's difficult for me to try to let it be, but we'll try. Because he does have a couple breaks on his too, so. So I'm working in smaller bits here, because in the grand scheme of it. Oh, Stream Boo's back. A live stream. Is it really a live stream if we don't have some kind of spam bot trying to advertise something? Has it really been Streamboo all this time and the other people have put stars in there? Or is Automod catching it and putting the stars in there? That's the question I have. Alright, let me deal with that real quick. Oh, and you just created your account 20 hours ago. Aw, now I'm gonna have to report you. I don't know if it was cheap or best, but whatever. Oh, best viewer, excuse me. At least Moobot managed to delete the message for me on that one. Certain ways they type it, Moobot doesn't catch it. That particular person, Moobot caught. Alright. Back to work here. Alright. This guy's a little bit thicker. Not too terrible, but I think we'll be okay. Alright. I think I want to add a little piece right here, because that breaks a little big for me to let be. I was trying and I was just like, no, I can't do that one. I mean, so far we're looking okay-ish. It's better than I had expected. Yeah. Okay. Question then becomes, how far down do we want to come? He has a little bit of this tree trunk exposed down here, so there's that. And grab our lime green for the friend next door. That's probably way too much. In fact, I know that's probably way too much. Okay. We'll see. We used more than I expected on the other one. But let's see how it goes. Alright, so get this popped into here. And I'm just kind of like trying to do not like the hard round poofs that we were doing for clouds, but just kind of like clumps of tree foliage, essentially. Kofi bot, calm down. You don't need to double post. It's okay. Got a little trigger happy. Okay there, friend. I am trying to keep moving here today because it is wrap-up day on this one. Have to see. It might be a little big. See how we look here. That's not too bad. Just kind of lay that down in there. Not sure if I should get popsicle sticks for the 5x5 ones. I don't know that I need to. I actually wonder if I have some. I need to check a container. I think I still have the container. Okay. Next bit of fluff. Might be a little big there on that one. Potentially. I guess that's not so bad. Alright, so we need to bring this down a little bit further. Down our trunky friend here. And I might do one more tiny splotch. Maybe right in through here. Okay. That looks decent enough. Alright, so we're gonna need to get Bob to back up, like zoom out a little. Okay. Excuse me. So we've got some shrubbies in here. And I feel like these might be like more of an olivey color, or that's what we're gonna use. I'm running out of shades of green. That's why we're using the olivey color. You okay? Do I need to mute? Alright, so this guy. kind of pop into here. Like, I only have so many shades of green here, so we're gonna have to either change some of the shades of green or we're gonna have to improvise something here. So if we have that shrubby there. Alright, so there's still kind of like a little bit of something happening around in here at the bottom. We need to keep a little bit, remember we have to be up a little bit higher because of our frame. Right, so after what we cut off, like if we need something to actually be visible down here, we have to remember how much our frame guy will end up covering up. Alright, so if I have you in there, and we go with the light green. Kind of over in here. It should be a little bit brighter than our grass green, so hopefully it'll be a little bit visible. As a different color there. Hopefully. That guy kind of popped into there. Alright, I'm gonna grab, let me put that down before I snap it. I'm gonna grab another one of our greens here. Now we can either go with grass green or varsity. I'm gonna go with varsity. Varsity is a little less blue. I don't know. Hold on. Okay. So we'll get this shrubby. I mean, this looks a little blue too, but the other one looked a little... I don't know if too bright's the right word. We'll see. We might end up needing it. kind of a lighter shade than the Varsity almost, if that's possible. How far down? Okay, so we kind of brought this shade like down into the corner. So I'm just gonna fill in this blobby bit here. Okay. So this guy. I am gonna take this color like all the way to the corner. I think that would probably, oop, excuse you. That one was really anxious to be a part of this. One more blobby bit of this color. All right. Oh, right. We have the other tree. Hold on there. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Next color. It's like, no, hold on. Hold your horses there a second. Still have to get this guy blocked in here. Alright, so we get this part into here. What's up, Pepper? What pepper is that? Kinda sounds like Zuzu feet. Is that the Zoozophone? Is that Mr. Zoozophone I hear? It is. Do I need to get him? Yeah. There. I don't know. It could be either. So we'll work on getting this other shrubbery bit colored in here as best as we can. Sometimes you can see the design on the back. That one was a little tougher. It kind of looks like a bit of a mess on the back right now. We'll see how we can do the things here. Hold on one second, you guys. I think I might have to help him for a minute. Alright, sorry about that. We thought he was hungry and he didn't want to eat what we had, so he's being super picky, and then he wanted to go out, and then Snuffles wanted to go out, and he's still outside with the boy. In the front yard. It's a little hot out there for him. He wanted to lay out back, but the ticks have been bad this year. We've pulled a couple off of him. And the grass out back's a bit too long for him to be laying out there. We haven't been as on top of the grass as we should be back there. Alright, so just kind of working on getting some of this popped into here. I think I misjudged where I wanted that piece to go in. How far down does this one come? He's got a little bit of a dark splotchy. I think I'm going to grab some of the lime green next. And kind of try to pop that like down into here. As best as we can. I might need to add a little bit more. We'll see. And then I want to add another green shrubby in here on this other side. Oh, did he have enough or did you have enough?
He got up and was sniffing around, but didn't seem interested in anything. He was just trying to catch. But he certainly was interested in getting a chimkin.
Alright, let's grab I guess we'll grab the light green. A couple other shades of green I would like to get from Paintbox, but whenever I have the opportunity to get them, they're never in stock, which is really frustrating. I think there's like a pair or a celery or something from them that I've been trying to get, and it's always in stock when I don't have the cash to grab them. Super, super frustrating. They did a big restock and I saw the colors were back in, and I'm like, yeah, because I don't have any money now. That's the way that goes. Alright, so let's see. Is this too big? I don't know. Let's see. I know we're gonna lose some of this on this side. I just don't know how much just yet that we might have vanish into the abyss here. I think I want just a tiny bit more, just like along this bottom bit here. There was like a section of the grass kind of peeking through. I'm all kind of okay with that. In this section, it felt very dark and covered, so I didn't think there really would be. Okay. Alright, so we're kind of caught up to Bob. A pile of fluff bags over here. Okay. So. Okay, so what is Bob doing? So we took some brown. It's really hard to see. Oh, well, that we don't need to see. Sorry, Bob, but I'm not playing your ad on my channel. Alright, so he's gonna highlight it. And he's gonna start putting in a path. Uh-oh. So we put the path in up to like here. Well, what's going on this side? He's back in that green again. Okay. He added some more shrubbies. Hmm. Okay, we'll pause it there. He's got like 3 minutes left. He puts in a tree. Let's see here. What color do we want this pathway to be? We're gonna have to highlight it. Let's go with soft fudge because I know he made it dark. Well, I just don't know if we could. It's gonna be hard to see it, but I guess it should be. Okay. So this area down in here to, it looks like maybe about here-ish, gets some pathway. Added on into it. Don't know how well that brown is gonna be visible. On the black. I can just barely see it, so I don't really know that you all are going to be able to see what I'm doing. Be a little bit more visible once we get the highlighty bits into it. More than likely. I mean, you can just barely make it out. I can just barely make it out. We'll stick this in here. And then I'm just kind of putting it in a little rough. There's going to be a little bit of the black poking through, but we're also going to add a little bit of highlight into this guy. We'll pop that into there. And Bob adds some different colored shrubbies on this side. I think I might go with some slightly different colors than what Bob decided on. Just because we've got so much green in here and it's getting a little difficult to tell the greens apart at this point. To be perfectly honest. Had a little section of black just kind of hanging out there in the middle, and I didn't want that large of a section. I'm okay with like little bits of breaks in it where it's shining through. But that was almost like a donut hole, so it was a little bit bigger than I really wanted. Alright, let's go ahead and we'll turn to Matty Matt. Okay, I really need to get these fluff bags popped off. I've been trying to hold off until I move my desk around. But now I'm not sure. When that might be. A couple of them I got topped off not too long ago, but at the same time, now I've got even more that kind of needs to get dealt with. Okay. So I'm just kind of grabbing some of this lighter brown and kind of just like scraping it through there and then tapping it in. Okay. Just so we can get some kind of little highlighty bits on this impromptu pathway here. Okay, so that's a little something in there. Where did that bag go? Shift it over there. Alright, so let me see. Let me grab some of our gold color here. I think this is a different shade that I used in the back. Yeah, this is a little bit darker. But you know what? I'm okay with that. Just to kind of break up all of the shades of green. I mean, I don't have anything against a lot of shades of green, but it was a lot of green. And I was kind of running out of green options here. I think I had like 2 green colors. Maybe 3 at the most that we didn't use in here. Because they just were not the right shades. And there wasn't a whole lot I could do to magic them into being the right shades, so... Probably could go at this with a little bit larger bits of fluff here. to get this section filled in a little bit faster. But at the same time, sometimes you don't really want to rush it too hard, but as long as we can get this frame started by 1 o'clock, we should be okay time-wise. I'm hoping. Keep missing where I want this tapped in. How is that possible? Okay. Alright, so we got that guy there. But maybe he should be just a little bit bigger. Just so Cinnamon doesn't, Bless you. Bless you. So we'll get this guy. Yeah, it should be a good enough corner for the Cinnamon to hang out. Let me find the Cinnamon. I have to dismantle my fluff fortress over here. The bucket I used to throw oh, that's not enough. The bucket I used to throw everything into while I was working is now holding all of my glue. So I kind of lost my working bucket. I really need to go back to having a working bucket if I can. So that way I can top off those bags at the end of a project. Okay. Maybe this might be enough. Tape kind of gave up the ghost on me here. So note to self not to get that drafting tape again. I have it, so I'm going to use it, right? Because there's still a lot of tape left on that roll, and I don't want it to go to waste. But, like, it does okay enough on this stuff, usually. But for the, like, watercolor, it does not work well at all. I know some people like to use like washi tape on their watercolor and gouache. I feel guilty using tape that looks so pretty on something I'm just gonna rip off, you know, and end up throwing in the trash. That might be like a me issue. It's like I like stickers, but then I'm like, if I use them, then I won't have them anymore. Kind of situation, and it's like, well, I need to find the perfect place to put the sticker. I don't want to put it on something that's gonna get thrown out. Let me put this little chunky bit back into its bag. Alright, Bob. I know it's coming, because we saw it when we peeked ahead. But alright, so you're just adding some stickies. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so he added this big old guy right in here. I don't know how I feel about that tree. I don't know that I want that tree. Because it's already very busy. Right? What do you think? Do we think
Which tree in question?
this one?
The birch?
Yeah.
Yes.
Guess what?
Yes, you should have it.
Ugh.
It adds something visually different to the scene. It helps break up all the tree blobbing.
I guess. These birches are very hard to do. Tiny.
That just means you need to do it more often for practice.
No, like to do it tiny, they're difficult. And it's just so busy in there. I don't know.
Well, I'm not making you.
Like
I told you what to do, and now you really hate it, so maybe you shouldn't be doing it.
he used black. No, he used brown, but I kind of feel like birches are more black.
They are.
Because I feel like that's gonna...
Or at least, unless the bark is truly damaged, they are.
So I kind of feel like maybe we should put that in as black.
I would.
I might have to put the fan on. Because I am getting mighty warm. Does it go all the... he takes it all the way to the top. He's done a lot of these birch trees that don't have leaves on them. In this particular season. I'm not sure if that was happenstance or if that's just what he was feeling. Ugh, my hands are all sweaty now. Alright, so we've got this guy. Yeah, I might pull that piece off. It was kind of coming off anyway. Alright, so where do we want? This guy's kind of like up into here-ish. I kind of wanted this to be a little bit thicker. If only to give me an easier time of trying to get the white bits worked into here. Let's see if I can get some of these little branchy guys popped into here. Can't go too crazy working those in, because then they might kind of vanish into nothing. Let's get this guy. And I guess I need like one more maybe. Kinda gonna blend in a bit. Like this is obviously too long. Okay, so this guy. Oh, and that was almost not long enough. Almost. Alright, now I need to get my white. Hey now, hey. Fluff Mountain. Let's not. Fluff Mountain is attacking me. Come on. Where did it go? There it is. I was gonna say, I didn't see it fall. Okay, so he kind of has it like haphazardly kind of tucked in. Here in places. See, when my hands start getting sweaty, the fluff sticks to them. So we'll get that bit popped into there. And we'll get this one. Try to figure out my placement in here. Alright. Just need the tiniest little bit here. Just for like this bottom section. Alright. Still not sure how I feel about that tree, but it's there now. Okay. And then I think Bob just kind of signs it, right? Yeah, he signs it down in there. And you don't really get to see it very well because he puts all this other stuff up on there, but that's our version of his. Does it look the same? No, not entirely. Kind of close. Like, you kind of get the idea of it in there. Alright, let's pop that into my dish back there. Alright, I am going to start heating up our glue gun. And we're going to tuck our mat away, because we don't need it for the next bit here. Alright. So, I mean, you can do this after you trim it. Sometimes it's a little bit easier when you still have like more of the side to hold on to. Give you a little bit of a handle there. I am just doing this to trim down the back here, just so that way we can get more more contact with our glue when we go to attach it to our magnet backing. And it'll take a few minutes. Now, we won't probably get every last little bit of extra fluff here. Especially at the very bottom, but that we can trim down. I might need to get my other scissors here. potentially. Give this one more go over. And then we will grab our backing. And trim this guy to fit into the backing. Alright, we're gonna put this, I guess I'll put that up there for right now. So I mean, we got a little bit of extra fluff and stuff off of there. Alright, so we're gonna line this up on the front with stuff that we want to be included. Alright. So then we are going to get up along the edge here. Sometimes it's easier said than done. So we didn't lose too much important stuff there. Okay. Alright, so let's take a look to see. Now we've got a little bit of blue up there, kind of peeking through. So is that going to be an issue for us? I don't think it'll be too much of an issue. This guy is very thick. That's what I'm more worried about now. It's gonna be a tough one. All right. See how this guy goes. I'm just kind of making sure that we get any extra left, trying to peek through on the edges. And we should be okay. This side's a little pokey. All right, we'll go with that. Grab this. Well, that can go there for the time being. Okay, so there's our finished guy, right? Let's get our lid. Trying to find a place where we can put him, where we won't be in danger of getting paint on him. Okay. Our little flamingo footprint there. I don't know which side I'm using it. Probably the other side. Yeah, that one came out better. So, I had my glue bottle turned upside down, waiting for us. Alright, let's see, that should hopefully be enough. That can go over there. Okay, we need our paint. Alright, so I didn't clean this. Oh, okay, we're gonna go there. I didn't clean this guy yet. I probably will after this one. Okay. So I did not, I think the first one I might have gessoed and then decided that, you know what, these guys really weren't all that thirsty. Some unfinished wood is really thirsty where it can take multiple coats to even get it remotely to show up, whether it's paint or stain. That's the little string I had on the other finger. I could just try to wait until we get the thing in, but I don't want to do that. But I found I could eliminate the gesso step, and we weren't really missing anything. Like, it actually looked a little better without the gesso step on this one. Now, if we end up painting the 5x5 squares, those I do need to gesso. And I haven't decided yet. We might do a couple paintings on those. Get this. I kind of like this being a little bit more thirsty because it's drying faster and absorbing in a lot faster. And it's making this paint look more like stain. This is straight from the bottle. I have not watered this down. This is our straight paint here. It is definitely paint. It is not stain, but it looks like stain on that first pass at the very least. Now we do end up doing a second pass on some of this. And then it starts to look a little bit more like paint and a little bit darker, and that's fine. Like, I'm okay with that. It happens. Now, technically, I didn't have to paint both sides of this. I probably could have gotten away with only painting one side, like the non-glue side. But, I don't know. part of me was like, let's just paint it. Sometimes I don't make up my mind which side I want to use until after the paint's dry. Is that, I don't know what that is. Might be just a piece of fuzz. But I didn't want it in my paint. There. Hindsight, probably should have washed this. Because I'm picking up little bits of previous paint off of the tray here. Just kind of funny because it's like, oh yeah, you can paint plastic with this. I mean, yeah, we can, but it also scrapes right off. So it doesn't stay. I mean, now this isn't sealed, obviously, but second some kind of liquid hits it, it's gonna just bubble right up and just come right off. I'm like, oh, what's that smell? I forgot the glue gun's plugged in. Hot glue has a very distinctive smell to it. Okay, I think this is my top side. Okay, where's that one that had the pen on it? I'll make sure that we actually get the pen covered up here. I don't know how well it's gonna cover. So I might have to make sure that that pen portion is not visible. Make sure that is facing down. It doesn't look like any amount of this paint is going to cover it. I mean, I could just try to grab another piece, but I don't know, I'm gonna have to make, like, I can still kind of see it. Like, just enough to be like, I don't know if more coats of paint are actually going to cover you. I mean, at the moment, it kind of looks like an imperfection in the wood grain. I guess, like, the main solution would be to just grab another stick. But I kind of don't want to waste another stick. I'm trying not to be lazy about it because it's also like buried in a container. I know where the container is and I can get to it within a couple of minutes. I just really don't feel like unburying the container right now. I mean, it's kind of visible. That's kind of blurry. Actually, that did cover it. That piece is much darker now, but then the rest of them are probably going to look. Okay. Yeah, so next week we will start a non-Bob Ross needle felt. Alright, now we will do like one touch-up pass after we get this guy put together. Okay. This side. The sides I'm not really going to be able to touch up. Okay. The sides that are going to be facing the piece, like the edges that are going to be like touching it, that I'm not really going to be able to touch up. Because we will end up getting paint on the thing, which, you know, we don't want to do that. That would be bad. That would be not helpful. Okay. Okay. Get this side. So by the time we get done painting everybody here, the ones that we started first should, keywords being should, be dry. Which makes this a little bit more helpful. Alright, so we'll get this piece. Where'd you go? Alright, so we got that one. We got two more that we need to paint in here. Alrighty. We'll get this one covered up on this side. Did you tell her what dinner was?
Yeah.
What did she want chicken or did she want that?
She want that.
Alrighty. Last. You okay?
Yeah, I'm just shifting.
I thought you made that weird noise. Or was that a cat?
Weird noise.
Sounded like a sinus snirk.
Not me.
Okay. That edge. Okay, I'm leaving a little bit on the end not painted so that I had a little handle there. Right, so I put too much paint out there, obviously, but it happens. I've got another bottle of that, so not a huge deal. Got a lot of paint stuck in this brush, though. That's annoying. Alright, we took that back there. Okay. We need our little pencil-y guy here. Okay. So. That one's still wet. Piece of fuzz. Oh wait, no, is that right? That should be right. Okay. So I want to be on the outside of that. And let's see. So you, if you would like cooperate. I'm not so good maneuvering my left hand. Okay. In theory, that should be the right size there for that one. So if that ends up being the right one, then this guy lined up to there about. That might be a little off. Let's see. Yeah, I need it to be on this side. I guess it does need to be up here. If you would hold still, that would be like great and awesome. Okay. So then this guy. Technically, like there. Technically. Alright. Then if we cut on those. That might just line up. Potentially. Okay, so I think that will fit. Okay. So those are the top and bottom. So then this would be our sides. Okay. So these are sides. Okay. Now, let me grab my glue brush here. Alright, let's see. We're kind of visible. Okay. me rinse this guy. Okay. So we're gonna rinse after each one. That, or I glue you in place. Can I get you centered? Alright, that's probably as centered as you are gonna get. Pop that. I am barely trying to barely tap this trigger. I don't want a whole lot of this out. So that is going to, just going to give that a minute. It does its thing. To firm up there. So that does like bow out a little bit. I'm not sure how. Okay, can I just like, what if I like scooch you in? Alright, we can do that. Okay. So, it's always an adventure with me getting these sides on here. Sometimes an adventure I'd rather not have, but a necessary adventure all of the same. I mean, technically, I could put this together with the super glue, but you can see how much seepage I have going on here trying to get everything just so. So I'm better off, tremendously better off doing the tacky hot glue method. Just want you to hold just enough in the right position. Sometimes I can time it to where it's like just the drip hanging. Where that's like all I need from it. Okay. That's not too bad. Not a fan of the glue string there though, but it was the little drippies that were just kind of hanging out. Alright, so we've got one side popped into there. Now the question is, I'm gonna get you popped into here on this side. Like, tacky glue doesn't instantly grip. It's not like super glue. It does have a dry time to it. It's just kind of my extra little bit of reassurance. Because I don't fully trust the hot glue. Now, our piece itself kind of helps hold everything together to a degree. Okay. Alright, so is a drip hanging off of there. Like, if I just squeeze the trigger, we'll have glue. If I squeeze the trigger with abandon, we'll have glue everywhere. Trying to be very slow and gentle with that. Because I do not want a flood of hot glue in here. That would not help us at all. Just trying to get some glue in that corner without everything deciding to remelt. Next time I definitely need square corners instead of rounded corners. That's been an added challenge. Ooh, that was still toasty there in that corner. As my pinky finger just found out. Okay. So I want to thank you guys for showing the Honey I Joined a Cult series some love by clicking on it. There's a lot more still to get posted on that. I think in total right now I'm up to 40 recorded sessions. Most are around a half an hour, 40 minutes. There's a couple that went over and are closer to an hour. You lose track of time in that game real quick. It's like, oh, I need to do this. Oh, let me do this real quick. Oh, wait, this mission just came back. So yes, you do send them out on missions. There's acquiring objects missions. There's trying to become better members in the community missions. There's all kinds of things. It has many, many layers. Oh dear, you are just slightly large. Dang. Okay, was that enough? Kinda, but you like cut crooked, so no. Alright, let me try you now. You're like just not quite touching where I need you. Okay, that's probably as good as I'm going to get it. Need to be careful with popping that stand on the glue gun here. My leggy is right under. Right under there. The nozzle's very hot, so I'm kind of letting that remelt the glue a little bit. That might have gotten a little chunky in there. Let's see. A little bit of space in there. I'm actually using very little hot glue. Like, I keep pulling out a stick in case I need to replace the one that's in here, but we haven't replaced this one in forever. That is a little high there. I didn't really want that sitting up there, but oh, that was warm. We're not trying to glue ourselves to the thing. Okay, so I still have like a little bit of visibleness, but it's shiny, so I think I'm looking at glue. We will pop some paint over that. When we get there. I forgot I still needed the bottle turned in the right direction. My bad. Alright, so I am just squeezing some tacky glue into our little tray that we've made. I don't want to be too stingy here, so we want to make sure that it really gets spread out very well, because that's what's going to be holding our piece in place to the tray. So I'm going to come back in with my little glue brush here, and I want to make sure that I'm getting the insides of our frame pieces here. Okay. So, just again, just gonna kind of smear this all around. Make sure I'm taking it up the sides. Because this is what's gonna hold our piece in place. Right, we don't want to be too stingy. I probably was a little heavy on it. We won't be swimming in it, but like that would be too much. You don't want to swim necessarily, but let's rinse the glue out of our glue brush because we want to be able to keep using our glue brush. If the glue dries in the glue brush, then it's a glue stick, and that I don't need. Okay. So we're gonna turn the back to make sure that it's facing the right way so I don't have this upside down or sideways. Alright, so we're gonna center it. I'm gonna take one of my scraps and I'm gonna kind of gently, I do mean gently, you don't want to use too much force because then you could pop the side off of your frame here. And I'm gonna start tucking our edges down into place. If you have any glue that kind of spills over to the top, just kind of try to keep it to the edge where your frame pieces might cover it, because it'll change the texture of the fuzz on the front. If you get too much spillage on it, it'll make it hard and it won't be fuzzy. So you could see as we were tucking this in, we did have some of our blue felt visible. And that's okay because we tucked it in, but we're going to come back in with our other pieces to complete our frame and it's not going to be visible. So let me slide this over to the side just for the moment. Because now, if I can get the little glue bits off of my fingers, we need to work out how we want this to come in here. Okay, so that's one piece. One second. All right. So I'm going to cut just to the inside. I think that's where I need to be. is just to the inside. Alright, that looks, it's a little short actually. It's like slightly short. Okay, so that could have been a little bit longer. So on this piece, what am I, oh, okay, I'm touching a piece of that. I'm gonna go just slightly longer. Alright, give me the shorter guy. Shorter guy's gonna hang out over there. Alright, so that one's a little bit better. Okay. So we're good at the bottom. What about up here? We're not hanging over too much, right? A little bit, but I think we're okay. Alright. So I think we can... Well, I mean, if I sit that one there, this one... I have no idea where that went. Oh, I think it's over here. I was gonna say, we may never know. And these scissors are getting more and more pissy. Probably because I'm trying to cut wood with them and I really shouldn't be. Okay, so that's pretty good there. Alright. This guy I'm gonna save for in between. He's still salvageable for that because I can trim him shorter. Alright, so this guy. And since we measured these, that went fine. These two should be good. Size-wise now. Alright. So, if I've got you there, and you there. So if you hang out there. Okay. So in theory, if okay, so you are where you should be. And I put you there. It's a little short. Shit. Well, that's not good. That's not good at all. Yeah, we cut that one a little short. More than a little short. Well, now. Am I gonna have to get another one? I might have to get another one because that's a little shorter than I can really fudge into place. Wait, this side you're fitting, so why didn't you want to? Alright, well, let me get this glued up here. Like, I don't want it super thick, but you don't want to be like super stingy with it either. Okay, so I'm gonna try to push that into place there. That's gonna take just a minute. Right, because we want a good contact with that, and the clip method sometimes makes it worse, even though it seemed like a good idea. I've had more trouble with it in the long run. So we'll just have to do it this way. And this piece seemed like it wanted to fit on the other side now, so now I'm like confused. I don't know if I can get two sides of this. I might need to grab another piece, or I might need to or I might need to paint this guy and trim him, who I was using as a palette knife. Alright. There's still some like glue kind of seepage chilling there. So I'm not sure how much of that has grabbed, shall we say. I mean, it's not falling off, so something had to have gripped. Alright. So this is our other piece for down here. So let's get some more of our glue here. And like I said, I want to be generous, but I don't want it like everywhere. So I guess enough that you can tell that the glue's there. Like, you don't want it like completely like clear transparent. That's probably okay. I would just sit this in the water for a second, but my cup is not that deep. I'm just trying to wipe off gently so I don't get a splinter. Any extra that might be trying to seep around the edges where we may have missed. Alright, so I'm going to get that as lined up as I can. And then I'm going to push that down into place. So we will push those down, not like with all of your might, but you know, just kind of press your fingers down. You don't want to completely break everything that you've worked so hard on. Okay. Alright, so I mean, it's not bad with just the top and the bottom, but we do need to add... Oh yeah, no, he is short. Okay. I don't... Yeah, I can't get a... Okay, so if we get you there... Yeah, I'm gonna have to paint the other one, I think, here. I mean, it happens sometimes. Okay. Let's see. I get that. Cut there. Okay, so we're just a hair's breadth long. Still just a hair's breadth. Okay, that's probably as good as I'm gonna get it. Yeah. All right. So I don't have to go and pull out another stick. I am gonna. Whoop. I lost some pieces off of here. I'm not sure what it was. So let's see. Is this still wet enough? Alright. So we'll get that. Alright, so next time we paint, I'm gonna need to grab another stick. We'll only paint tiny, I guess. I will need to grab another stick. Alright, so that'll take just a minute. For that to dry. Okay. We got that cleaned up. And this is the one that fits. Does it fit both sides? That's the next question. Yes. Yes. Okay. So this is our measuring guy. What the heck did I... Oh, the little glue bits. My little glue grapes. Or maybe little flower bits. Okay, I'm just giving that a chance to dry there. So as soon as that is dry, we can continue onward. That is drying. Let me just check on a couple of things here real quick. Okay. Alright, well, Honey, I Joined a Cult has dethroned my WoW dance video for the day. That's a tough feat. Good job, guys. The episode that went up last night's got 35 views on it. I don't know how much you guys watched it, but you clicked it. A lot of you might have just clicked through it. And that's fine too, at least you clicked it. Right? That's like the most I could ask for. Oof, it's 89 out and feels like 100.
Ew.
Oof. Rain? What? Showers from at 4 and 5.
Oh.
Really? Is it gonna feel even grosser?
Probably.
Humidity is currently 61%. Wind south at 7. What's the radar look like? Although we never got those showers yesterday, so I don't know if I believe it. There's a tiny little blip trying to form between Siloam Springs and Springdale. Very much north of us. So unless that sucker's gonna make some friends, I don't know. It might just more be a like pop-up situation where it might happen. I don't know if I believe it. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Okay. That should be dry enough now, I think, for us to continue forth here. Got paint all over my hand. Alright. Let me set that back to the side. Keep it out of trouble. That spot wasn't completely dry, but it's okay. We were gonna do a touch-up pass anyhow. You know what one bad thing is about your hands being sweaty and you owning pets? Every bit of fluff that you might have in like a 5-foot radius of you decides to be, hey, I want to go hang out over there, and just sticks to you. Like you've suddenly become a lint brush. Okay. Uh-oh. Hey now. Thank you. Alright. So, let's get some of our glue here. I'm gonna glue... What side do I want to glue? Let's glue this side. Okay. Get this all glued up here. Alright. Try to wipe off the extra. On the edges here. Because we don't really need that. I know I've got some glue. Okay. So I'm gonna push that down. Just to try to get some contact with that. Just to make sure it's gonna grip a little bit faster. it's mostly going to be gripping the fuzz and not necessarily the edge of the frame. Sorry, I had the paintbrush in my mouth. As long as it grips something that it's going to actually hold on to, that's all I really care about. Just hold on to something and don't come off. Alright, let me get the little glue bits off of my fingers here. Okay, we'll get that guy popped in. This side wasn't as tight of a fit. That's okay. So I just want to make sure that we are gonna hold. Right, that's the last thing we want to do is for it to pop up. And I don't really want to have to come back in and try to reattach that. It's one of our better fitting frames, I will say. We're getting better at it. It only took us how many? So I need a little tiny look here, pen. Nobody said that you could just bail on out. Getting very low on this paint. Boop. Okay. So now is when we're gonna do our touch-up. Carefully going to do our touching up. That's where you're gonna clean up any smudges. See, this one's kind of like popped up. But that's just kind of the way it dried. Don't feel like there's a whole lot I can do about that. Okay. I'm gonna try to hold it in the middle here. Got like the tiniest little, I think it's a piece of fuzz kind of peeking through. Alright, anytime you're gonna have the paint near the piece, careful, slow, deliberate acts here. You don't want to be wiggly. I got real nervous there when my brush started getting wiggly. I was like, oh no. And then if you had any measuring lines where you accidentally glued the wrong side, now would be the time that you want to try to fix that. If it's something that you want to fix. Maybe it's not something that you want to fix. And that's okay. It is your guy that you've just created. You friends, are giving me all kinds of trouble. Alright, so I'm trying to make sure I get my raw edges here. That was close. So that piece is a little off, but it's still one of our better frames. Even though it's not like super tight. Is that why it wasn't super tight? This section down here. Decided it wanted to be fussy. So I'm gonna just come down the side here, clean up any glue smears or any smudges, any spots where my fingers may have pulled up any paint. Like if my fingers had a little bit of glue on them and I didn't realize and decided to tack some of the paint up. Doesn't happen too often. Alright. And we'll get this bit. Looks like this bottom front still needs one more pass. Then we'll just have to give that a minute to dry. The back doesn't look so bad. I don't really think at the moment on my quick glance that we will need to touch up anything back there. That could go there. Alright. So I'm just gonna give that a minute. That guy is just being stubborn. Alright. I'm just kind of letting that so I don't like smear everything I've done after I do it again. This is not a heat gun to speed it along situation, because then you will undo your hot glue. And we don't want to do that. That isn't going to help us. Alright. Still a little bit of wet paint there. We might be okay to proceed. Kind of sad one of my magnets snapped. I'm not even sure how. These are delicate magnets for as strong as they are. Surprisingly enough. Keep those guys away from each other. So I've got one, say 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Let's see. 2 into 22 would be 11. So I have enough to do 11 more magnets. But we're gonna do a wall hanging. A smaller wall hanging, but a wall hanging. Next time. This glue is kind of stinky. But remember, this is the super glue. We don't want to get that on our fingers. We want to be very careful with it, because that's already holding in place. This glue means business. Okay. And we had to hold that in place for 45 seconds. Alright, so just a drop. Do not put any more than a drop for this. Trust me, a drop is more than enough. Oh, that had glue on the end of it, because it almost stuck to my finger. Okay. Yes. Yes, that did have glue on the end of it. I felt the tackiness. I was like, oh, shite. Okay, not enough to, Alright, so it must have absorbed it now. It wasn't enough to, I feel it on my finger, though. Like, I can feel the residue. It's not sticky anymore, though. Just know how, yeah, it gets that like film. Let's put the lid back on you. Like, there's not, they don't give you a whole lot, but you don't need a whole lot. Okay. And let's, lip. Oh, that's still wet. The edge was still wet on it. But it is holding. It will turn your magnet white when it gets on it, though, like the metal piece. So let's just give that another couple of minutes before we start really touching that. Alright, and there is our finished guy. It looks a little blurry, but probably because of how close we are. Let's see if we can zoom in on him. We were zoomed out a little bit. I didn't want to be too zoomed in though. Alright, so there he is. He's 3 inches by 3 inches. This is why he looks a little small and everything. But that came out better than I expected. I'll say that. Definitely better than I was expecting it to turn out. Because last week I was like, I don't know, man. I'm about to give up on this. Maybe we just move on to something else. But no, we kept with it. And, you know, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. So that will do it for this series for now. Tomorrow we'll be back with Planet Zoo. And we'll be working on our butterfly thingy. Sunday we are starting Moonstone Island, you guys. We won't have any fancy layovers for it, but I will have a mango in the bottom corner to put in there. That the husband drew. The husband needs to come up with a Rimworld mango. So I don't know what that's going to involve. I don't know if it's gonna have like steam, I don't know, is it steampunky? I don't know what we're gonna do with that. I don't know, maybe a flamingo riding a muffalo? I don't know. We'll figure out something. Or riding a man-eating guinea pig? We'll figure it out. But we'll have a Rimworld thingy soon. But Sunday is Moonstone Island, since we've basically wrapped up Coral Island last week. And we'll get back to Coral Island again at some point, but there's some other stuff I want to look at. So Sunday will be Moonstone Island. Monday we'll be back to working on our circle painting. Next Tuesday we will be starting a wall hanging. We'll be doing a 5x5 wall hanging that we're gonna needle felt. And then, you know, back into Planet Zoo. I don't want to walk away from Planet Zoo yet. We still have a lot to do in that zoo, and I think they just came out with a new animal pack. Was that a couple days ago? We didn't get it yet. I think I wish listed it. I'm not sure. It's gonna be a little bit before we can get it, but there is that one in place for anybody that must have all of the packs as soon as they come out. But yeah, so thank you guys for hanging out with me this afternoon. Don't forget to follow the social links down below. They will take you to the Ko-fi page for those that don't want to donate through Twitch. Donating through them, it goes direct to our PayPal. I think the PayPal might have the husband's name on it, but it's it's both of our PayPals, essentially. And we have the Blue Sky. Instead of Twitter, I'm not on Twitter anymore. We also have links to the eBay store in case you want to pick something up. What is listed up there will be coming down in a couple of days, though. I am doing, I think only one thing has international shipping turned on it because we were trying to see something, but the rest of it is just within the United States, just because shipping's super expensive right now, and I don't think anybody really wants to pay a whole heck ton for shipping. And then there's also links to the YouTube channel where you can find this stream archived along with things that we didn't stream, like Honey, I Joined a Cult. So, or Bear and Breakfast. We finished that series though, so that's why we moved on to Honey, I Joined a Cult. So I will see everybody tomorrow for Planet Zoo and trying to finish up our restaurant area and start work on the actual butterflies themselves. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a good one.